12 is staying on top of efforts to quell the gun violence on the streets of Portland.
Throughout the past few weeks, we've pressed city leaders wanting to know what's being done about the surge in cases in the past few months. Now the Portland Police Bureau has announced the formation of a new enhanced community safety team. Fox 12's Sarah Hurwitz has been following this issue extensively. She joins us live now with how the team will work and some community reaction. Sarah?
Well, yeah, we're here in East Portland. It's an area of the city that's seen a large portion of the recent shootings. Now, we have heard concern after concern from neighbor in the Hazelwood neighborhood, Centennial neighborhoods, all over East Portland who are concerned for their safety. This team, one mother tells me, is better than nothing, but she says more work needs to be done on outreach and prevention. A dramatic spike in shootings, vocal neighbors fed up, and city leaders responding to the community.
We're implementing this plan right away to address gun violence in our city.
Today, Portland Police Deputy Chief Chris Davis announced the formation of the Enhanced Community Safety Team. This was, he says, at the direction of Mayor Ted Wheeler. Now, Davis says it will fall under the Bureau's investigations branch, comprised of 3 police sergeants, 12 officers, and 6 detectives who will focus full-time on investigations involving gun violence.
Many of these people are experienced investigators, and they're people who've been doing this work for a long time, for in some cases many years. We hope to, in the work of this team, to narrow our focus in these investigations to what we think is really a small group of repeat shooters who are responsible for an oversized proportion of gunfire incidents.
Davis says an important component of this team will be its on-call capability, with a dedicated group of investigators who can respond 24/7 to shooting incidents citywide. The ECST will also be working with the Multnomah County District Attorney's Office, the United States Attorney's Office, the Multnomah County Department of Community Justice, the Portland Office of Violence Prevention, the FBI, and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. And now, when the gun violence reduction team was dissolved last year, I asked Chief Chuck Lavelle if the Bureau could still do community outreach without that team. He told me it was more difficult because the officers had relationships with the community. I asked Deputy Chief Davis if this new team would have an outreach component.
This effort that we're talking about today is really much more investigation focused. It's not the same thing as the old GVRT model where we had a group of officers in uniform out engaged in proactive patrol type activity, a big part of which was making those relationships with people involved in the problem.
Honestly, I think anything is better than nothing at this point. However, I think that if we wanted to be able to utilize the people that we already have from the GVRT, I think that using those particular officers might make a bigger impact.
Tina Semko is a mother in the Hazelwood neighborhood who we've interviewed before. Last Friday, I spoke with Mayor Ted Wheeler and brought up some of her concerns.
What reassurance do you want to give neighbors we've talked to? I mean, I've interviewed women who are like, I have an 8-year-old who can recognize what a gunshot sounds like.
We're asking people in particular, if you see something, say something. If you heard gunshot, please call 911. We want to know. The sooner we hear about it, the sooner we can have people on scene.
He might say call 911, but when will the police officers get here? When somebody's son dies again, right? When you have kids that are out in the street shooting each other?
Now, that neighbor you heard from there feels that this new team is reactive and, again, that there needs to be more work done on outreach. Now, Mayor Ted Wheeler also released a statement today. He said that action on this issue needs to be taken immediately. He is working on several other law enforcement actions. He also says he's working on prevention and intervention.